It is for Wednesday, June the 4th at 2312 hours. This is, by the way, a second part in a little two-part video series I'm doing on FLV, Flash Video, and YouTube. So, yes, tonight I'm doing some transcoding between file formats. And I'm reminded of something a tech told me recently. A techie, that Adobe is not just going to give away the blueprints to its incredible rocket science FLV format for people to use. That was sarcasm, by the way. Well, my rule of thumb here, and it comes from artistry and the nature of self-expression, is that if all you can do is have good control over recording those videos in a real way, you might want to practice creative resistance. But I think creative resistance doesn't work at this point. I think you need some kind of militant objective where you can use hardware to solve the problem. But really it means just going back to electronics instead of relying on computers. It does mean that we have to encode our way out of the flash video or the .flv, as it's called on computers, format. We have to get out of using this. I think there must be very much a conspiracy here regarding the flash video format. There's clearly a lot of money involved in being able to have one video standard for everyone to use. And clearly there's never going to be one standard. There's at least going to be one standard that Apple uses, one standard that Microsoft uses, one standard that people like myself with free video standards want to use. And then there's the internet, and then there's the web, and different factions and different corporations involved there. So with the standard created here by using YouTube, it became essentially a bit of a tempest inside of the teapot. People think video on the internet and they automatically think YouTube. That can only happen with some kind of a conspiracy going on, because if it's just purely a cultural phenomenon, then the artists would be deciding on which video format YouTube should use and which kind of structuring of the whole website should be employed, and then how to have some kind of bottom-up democracy going on into the structure of it, rather than just saying YouTube's going to save the world because suddenly we can play video on the internet, and not worry about all these software problems that creeped up all through the years before today. But because people think this way regarding YouTube, the originator, the original seed of the problem here, which is the restriction of the FLV format, can remain restricted as a moneymaker for Adobe, who purchased it from Macromedia, which incidentally created one of the most successful pieces of software of the early World Wide Web, which played vector animation on computers, almost, again, with what I would call a universality. That is, the universality of YouTube is that it works on everyone's computers, as opposed to not, which is the way it was just before. Again, it's sort of a magic trick. Like would make a lot of sense. But if you understand the value that art has to humanity, I think you might at least begin to agree with me that Adobe in this situation is behaving a little bit more like a pariah in its controlled restriction over taking the reins off of the FLV. So although I use myself blip.tv, which uses the FLV standard, or at least can, it doesn't have to, much to the credit of Blip TV, which, by the way, is one of the fastest growing video entities in the world. It has much more unlimited growth potential than YouTube, I think, ever will have. And I even use YouTube, but again, I have to interject with a bit of a qualifier there. My use of YouTube is strictly in conjunction with my online video streamer. I have never uploaded a video from my computer to YouTube. I make my video here, I'm recording on my streamer and uploading to YouTube. It's my only use for the website. It is my view here that computers generally shouldn't be used to view pre-recorded videos to begin with. I think the streaming phenomenon will parse this out over time for the mind of the masses. But for now, I think it's suffice to say that television, is far superior as a viewing device, particularly for pre-recorded video. Again, that is an entirely different conspiracy to get into. So thank you for your time, and ciao for now.